Hi, I'm Julia and welcome to my channel. When the pandemic surged, the travel guidelines became strict. Now that the cases of COVID-19 is going down, let's see how it's like to travel internationally with Cebu Pacific. So we had our connecting flight last March 20, and our schedule from Iloilo to Manila was 11:30 in the morning, and so we left our house 7:30 a.m.
My sister and I just took a taxi and we got to the airport in less than 30 minutes. I know we left pretty early, but I was scared since I know nothing of the process.
I went to Hong Kong last 2019, but this time it's harder because I don't have my mom and other relatives with me. This time I'm alone with my sister. So also in the travel guidelines, it says that we should be at the airport 2 to 3 hours before our flight.
However, to my dismay, the check-in time for our flight wasn't open until 10 a.m. This is an hour and a half before our flight.
I did not regret leaving early though, because if we didn't, we would have been caught in traffic and that would cause a lot of stress.
Anyway, since we were too early, we sat in this waiting area where the guard line is up. When it was our time, we lined up in order to get inside the airport. And we got our luggage scanned, and there should be a basket to hold our things there, but they actually ran out. After that, we are given the option to check in by ourselves in this check-in kiosk. Here you can print your bag tags and attach them to the luggage before bringing them to the bag counters. There's also some staff that can assist you if you're confused. In our part, since we were unable to check in by ourselves, we went straight to the counter. You need to prepare your passport and ticket, but since we're flying internationally, the staff also asked me for my visa and if I pay the travel tax, which also appears in the printed ticket. After that, she gave us our boarding passes and a sticker at the back to signify that I checked any luggage. Then we proceeded to the second floor, and I prepared my passport and boarding pass for another attendance check. Take note of your seat number at this moment. Furthermore, always remember your flight number and listen to the announcement. Once inside, make sure that you are entering the correct gate. The airplane present at the moment is only from the Philippine Airlines, so just be patient and wait for your airplane's arrival. Once your airplane arrives, prepare your passport and boarding pass. They usually let in the PWDs, senior citizens, and pregnant women first. The rest would line up and wait for their turn.
Please prepare your valid ID and boarding pass individually po. Once again,
Now we are on our way to our plane. Once inside, we looked for our seat number, which is usually found above the seats. You're lucky if you got the A's or F's because these are the window seats. Also, your hand carry bag or luggage should also be placed in the overhead bins or below the chair in front of you if it fits. Now we're ready to go. When we arrived, we went straight ahead to ride this bus, which will lead us to our terminal. It is also important to take note of your terminal number. Anyways, once in the airport, go straight up for the international flight.
Back in the Iloilo International Airport, I already asked if I still need to check out my luggage and then check it in when going to Dubai from Manila. Turns out that I do not need to anymore, and all I need to do now is to proceed to the immigration officer and get our interviews done,
which is found in this area. However, before that, we were asked to fill up this form which is found in a desk near the station. Once done, we formed a line and waited for our turn. If you want to know how I passed my interview, a link will be provided down below. Anyways, I went to 2 immigration officers and I passed both. After that, we had our luggages and selves checked. This is why it's good to wear socks because they will ask you to take off your shoes in order to be scanned well. And then another waiting game. Our flight to Dubai was 7:30 p.m. So make sure that you have found your gate number before strolling around. You were also told to line up, I think, 30 minutes before we entered the plane. This is for the final check up. At this point, they will only check your passport and boarding pass. Now, after some time, the plane has arrived, and now we are going inside. So as you can see, only a few boarded the plane. But now let's move on in checking our seats. So there isn't much leg room, but then it is expected since we bought cheap tickets. There's also a foldable table where we can place our foods when our meals get delivered. So far it's good. However, one of the things that I regret purchasing is the food itself, because for our first meal, which is for dinner, we had adobo with brown rice and a bottle of C2. So charan, it looks good. And then for the second meal, we were given 2 hours before landing. However, to be honest, I would have saved more or less 1,000 pesos if I just bought my own cup noodles and asked a stewardess for hot water. The food wasn't that good at all for the price. I'm sorry, Cebu Pacific. And then, moving on, going to sleep was a struggle too, but then I'm young. I can sacrifice my 10 hours of comfort for the money. And finally, we arrive. Even the stewardess sounds tired. Again, when we went out of the plane, we rode this bus going to our terminal. And just follow the people around you to check out your luggage. And finally, you're here.
And that will be all. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, please comment down below.